Hey everybody, this is John Sobrano and Shawn Cox, and today we're going to teach you the difference between hitting a bag for bare knuckle striking and one for hitting without a regular bag with gloves. Alright, so this is going to be a very important bag to be able to use, and you can make it, and it's pretty easy to make. Alright, so stay tuned and get ready to see the video. Alright guys, so the difference between this bag and a normal striking bag is not as hard as a regular striking heavy bag.
Leather.
Or pleather. But the leather bags, well, you can use leather. This is canvas bag, but you can use leather if you choose to. But the thing is, again, you take all the stuffing out and you restuff it by taking out all the usually they're going to have hard sand bags stretched around it. So you take those out, and you can stuff it really tight and get some nice stuffing in it. And you want it to be able to feel like you're hitting the body. Okay, most bags don't feel like you're hitting the body; you're just hitting like you're hitting some solid tube, And that's not how the body's going to be feeling like when you strike it, especially when you're doing it bare knuckle. You might get away with that using gloves because that's what they're made for. The gloves are going to cave in and everything, and that's why they have bag gloves, because they all know that if you hit it with your sparring gloves or your professional boxing gloves, that after hitting the bag so much, they start getting squishy, and then all the padding gets pushed out of the way, and they become flattened. All right. So they have specific bag gloves for that are more denser material, so that when you hit the bags, they don't break down and collapse that easily. Okay. It's good to be used for developing the power of your body when you're hitting everything, and that's really what they're for. The bag gloves and using those bags that way. But to be able to strike hard and hit the body and be able to get comfortable with it, the best thing to use is a bag that's stuffed soft, and then after it sinks in when you hit it. And so this is how this type of bag is. Basically what I've done is I've purchased a canvas bag, okay, and I got this one at everythingkungfu.com. So it's a good bag. It's about $30-something, and it comes empty, so you have to stuff it with your own stuffing. So what I've done is I had an old heavy bag, like a 60-pound, 70-pound heavy bag that was torn, and I just took all the stuffing out. They had like little bags of cement, and so they were pretty rock hard, so I threw those away, and I just kept all the stuffing. And what I did was I got a contractor's bag, and I got two of them, and I poured sand inside of it, like this is 50 pounds of sand and stuffing. And so I pulled 50 pounds of sand and made it like into a tube. And what I did was about a third of this bag is all stuffing, and then after I put the tube in the middle, and I stuffed it all the way around with more stuffing, about 2.5 to 3 inches all the way around the bag. So basically, the center has a tube of 50 pounds of sand, and all the way around the bag is nothing but stuffing, and underneath the stuffing. And so I just tied it down, and that's my striking bag. Now, I keep the bag about the lower pec level, because that's how the old fighters used to do it. The bare knuckle fighters, when they fought, they'd have the bag about chest height, lower chest, so they can throw their strikes, uppercuts, and everything. And they had it so it can move around, similar to a mace bag. And it's and again, it's solid, and your fist will sink into the bag, and it won't hurt them as bad as if you're hitting a solid, hard bag. So right now I'm going to have Shawn demonstrate some of his strikes that he'll throw in the bag, and just watch how it sinks into the bag. And the bag doesn't fly around all over the place, even though it's 50 pounds. And you don't need more than 50 pounds. You can use 40 pounds, But basically what it's doing is it's training you to sink your fists into the opponent as you're striking. And it also strengthens the hands, the knuckles, the wrists, the arms, the forearms as you're striking the bag, because it sinks in there and it tends to sink into the bag, and it makes you have to train yourself to hit properly and solidly when you're striking. Okay? So in a minute we're going to have Shawn show you how to hit this thing. Alright? Alright, so here's Shawn. He's going to show you some of his technique and just demoing how to hit the bag with bare knuckles.
Forgive me. It's going to look horrible.
So as you can see, as Shawn's hitting as he's hitting the bag, guys, notice that it's sinking, his fist is sinking into the bag. Okay, the bag is moving, but it's not moving all over the place like a lot. It's pretty dead bag there. So he can uppercut it, he can throw overhands, hooks, whatever he chooses to throw, and it's nice and solid, but it's soft enough that it sinks in when he strikes it. There you go. Okay. So when he hits this bag, it develops that power to punch through your opponent, not just at your opponent. A lot of times when guys hit regular solid, heavy bags, they just hit the bag and that's it. They don't go through the bag and get that fist going into the individual. And you want that because you want intent when you're striking somebody and hurting somebody. So try this bag and make one. You can go to any hardware, wherever they sell canvas bags, army supply stores, and buy yourself a canvas bag and stuff it the way I'm talking about, and hang it up, and that's all you need. You don't have to pay $200-300 for a bag. You just make one on your own. Okay, they work really well and they're very effective. If you can afford one, I think Ringside sells a soft bag that weighs about 200 pounds or something, and it costs about $400, $500. But you can make one for about under $60, $70. All right, so you can try that. So what next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask Shawn what he thinks about the way he feels this bag versus the heavy bag.
Once
all
I
right?
catch my breath.
Once he catches his breath, yeah. He hasn't slept all day, so forgive him. But what we're going to do is I'm going to just ask him, because he's just tried us out, and I want you to get a bird's eye view of somebody that's just tried it out, that knows the difference between one and the other, okay, besides just myself. All right, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so I have Shawn here, and I'm just going to ask him a couple of questions on what he thinks about hitting this bag versus hitting a heavy bag, okay? So, Shawn, so what do you think, your opinion on the feeling of one or the other?
Your heavy bags, one's made of leather, pleather, as you say. They're good for developing power, like real heavy shots. But the problem is you do bounce off them when you strike them. Like you can kind of push through, but it ends up more like you're just pushing through a flat surface or pushing a flat surface, as opposed to something like this. Even though it's not as heavy, it'll sink in and it kind of gives you something to really push through, as opposed to, kind of how could I say it?
Just bouncing off of it.
Yeah, I don't bounce off as much. Striking this, it forms to my hand and I have to really drive through and bring it back. As opposed to those, you strike and it brings you right back.
So how does it feel as far as for your hands when you're striking this one versus the other one? Like if you were going to hit that one Bareknuckle, versus hitting this one Bareknuckle, which one would you take, will last longer?
My hands last longer, or the bag?
Which bag? This one or that one?
That bag would probably last longer, and I could probably hit this a lot longer than I could a standard leather bag.
Like I said, because the reason why is that the regular bags are hard. They're like cement hard, and especially when all the stuffing comes to the bottom, it's like hitting a solid chunk of cement. Versus this one's not going to be like this. It's going to be soft continuously all the way around, And if it does get a little bit hard, all you got to do is just get the material, take it out, and restuff it again. It's like back to brand new the way you had it when you first started.
See, even though it's lighter, you got to figure your body can only take so much punishment. I mean, what are you hitting with? Your hands. There's little bones, there's little ligaments, tiny muscles. If you're hitting as hard as you can 100% of the time, all the time, that's good. You're probably a dangerous fighter, but give it a few years or however long it's going to take, your body's going to feel it, and it's not going to be good.
Right. You'll be breaking down. Something's got to give. Your hand's going to give before the bag or the heavy bag does give. That's why when we train guys with this type of bag or any bag, is after a while when your hands start getting sore, you back away and relax your hands and don't hit no more. You can train your elbows and forearms, your kicks, your knees, or what have you. But once your hands feel better, then you condition them by massaging them, putting different types of oil, liniment to go in there, soak in, and help the joints, ligaments, and tendons. And then after, like I said, give your hands a rest, and then come back and do it in short spurts like that of training. But if you want to keep going and your hands are sore, obviously, then I would tell guys, put your wraps on and gloves, big gloves, and you can hit the heavy bag, and then after that will be fine until
you can still train your bare knuckle movements, but you're not breaking down your body as you would your average retired bare knuckle boxer at 20.
So the thing is, a lot of guys, I know a lot of you guys are going to go gung-ho, and you're going to say, well, I want to do this, I'm going to go, I want to develop that power to be able to hit like that, like these guys are doing it. But you know, it takes time, guys, to condition your hands and everything. So don't go so fast and so hard, you know. Just take your time with it, because if you hurt yourself or break something, now you're going to retard your progress, and it's like you take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and it's just a waste of time. Just go slowly. Just slowly, you know. I've been doing this for many, many years, you know, just too many years, you know. So I've never broken my hand. I've never hurt my hand. I felt it get sore. Again, I backed off. I just know when to back off and then when to come back on. And the thing is, as you condition your hands in this type of bag, when you start striking your opponents, you're going to be able to sink in and start causing a lot of internal and external damage to the individual, just once you understand how to use this type of bag. Again, I tell you guys, make your own bag. It's not that hard to do, and it's easy to make. And as it moves around, you move around. I like this bag because, like Shawn had talked to me about it, it moves around, so that makes you move around. Right now, it's in a cage. We have it in a cage, and obviously it's hit against the cage.
Little restrictions. Plus, you got to film it. You don't want to watch my back.
So the thing is, because it moves, if you have it hanging under a tree or a pull-up bar at a park, again, it's 50 pounds. You can make it 40 pounds. You can carry it anywhere, put it in your trunk, and you can work outside, you know, do your movements outside. There's no problem. But the thing is, it's an easy bag to have and carry around and work around it, you know. And it'll develop your timing, your rhythm. You'll be able to, your distancing. You're developing your strikes. You can hit the bag, like I said, and duck underneath it as you're hitting it, as you come up, striking it, so that it mimics fighting close quarter. So it's a very important bag to use, especially if you want to fight bare knuckle. And if you're, like I said, going to be training for street fighting, then obviously this is the bag of choice to get. The other bag is fine to develop that power in your body and your technique, but when it comes to actual fighting for a street, I would recommend this type of bag over the other. And what do you think?
You're wrong.
I'm so sorry.
No. It's going to be your preference. Like I said, after hitting you know, heavy bags that weigh 200 pounds, 300 pounds, as you saw in an earlier video, as opposed to this, and this one, there's only like I said, there's only so much your body can take, your hands can take, your wrist can take. If you can, you know, muscle through that or bone through that, by all means, you know, congratulations. But I personally, I can't do that to my body the rest of my life. So there's other ways I can strengthen and improve my techniques without damaging myself.
Yes. So I like I said, for me personally, I like this bag. This is what I always use, you know, and it's always done me well. I mean, every time I, you know, break it or tear it, and it takes years and years and years of doing that before that happens. And then you just get another canvas bag and stuff it again, and you can still stuff it with the same stuff you had before, and it works out like that. And like I said, it's not that hard to build one. It's very economical, and in this time, in these days, it's best to make your own like this, you know. And you can, like I said, you can hang it wherever you want. You can even hang it on a tree, on the side of the tree if you had to, you know, or on a wall. But the thing is, it's heavy enough to be able to hit someone's body's torso. Someone's usually upper torso is going to weigh about 50, 60 pounds. So this is tailor-made, and like I said, it sinks in. So it's just like a body. It's able to sink in when you strike. And that's what you want to have, is that feeling of sinking in when you're hitting somebody. And as it does, it develops, strengthens the knuckles, the fingers, the wrists, the forearm, the elbow, the shoulder, as you're striking, okay? So build one of these bags, give it a go, and I guarantee you, you're going to get really real strong and very powerful when you're striking the bag, and you won't hurt your hands as easily as if you used a heavy bag, all right? So try this out and see what you think. All right, guys, this is the end of this real quick video.
Not quick.
Well, it was kind of.
Kind of not quick.
So
there's no script here, by the way.
Yeah, if you notice.
So you understand why, you know, I'm working with amateurs here.
Yeah. One thing I'm working with. So
Professional.
the thing is that what I want you guys to know is that this type of bag is the best kind of bag you use for your fist. Old bare knuckle fighters would use this type of bags, okay? And again, we're training to fight bare knuckle for street, not for ring. If for ring, go ahead and use a regular bag, that's fine. But for street, I would use these bags. And even if you fight on ring, I would switch a little bit and try this, and then put the gloves and wraps on, and you're going to get a lot better when you're striking, because you're going to feel the power, and you're going to know how you're supposed to hit, and you'll know the difference of how it's supposed to feel when you hit something.
Variety is the spice of life.
Yes. So try this out, and we'll see you guys. And remember, don't just hit them, punch a hole through. Take care, and we'll talk to you later.